Good evening, everybody. We're going to be doing a very exciting roll this time around, so I'm hanging out for just a couple of minutes to wait for a few people to show up, see if anybody wants to watch live. This is a 1972 original Batdorf wrapped roll from Chase Manhattan Bank from 1972, folks. 1972 Philadelphia. That means that we have chances to find some major double dies in this, and I'm going to let everyone watch who wants to watch live. Notifications that I am live should have gone out just a few minutes ago, so we will see if anybody wants to show up. It's a little bit early, so I want to make sure that I give everybody a chance to show up who wants to be here. We're about 10 minutes early on this one. I'm jumping the gun on this because, well, I want to open it. I want to do this. I've wanted to do this for 2 weeks now. And here finally we are. Hello, Nana Stacks. Good evening to you. Waiting for all the other folks who might get a notification on this to come on in, get their chair and watch the show. Here's Mr. McCumber back for another reveal. Good evening, Mr. Dan. Original Chase Manhattan roll of 1972 Philadelphia Lincoln cents here. Original Chase Manhattan roll. And we're sure you can make it to 9 p.m. We do have another one coming up after this. It'll be 1954D. And I will be opening that one as soon as I get this one finished, which could be as little as 30-40 minutes from now. Depends on how this one goes. If we get halfway through the roll and don't find anything, I'll probably more or less rifle through the rest of it, because your chance once you've been to half of the roll is very slim that you're going to find anything if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and get it open. Other people will show up, I'm sure. But I am ready to rumble. So here we go. Can't stand when people get after these with a metal screwdriver. I see it so many times. And I don't like it. So I do it like this. Plastic. No chance it's going to scratch any coins. That plus I don't rake it over the coins. All right. Wrapper comes out over the coins. And there we go. One full BU original bank wrapped roll. Oops. Get that back in there. All right. Let's see who goes first on this one. Well, Dan McCumber is first. Let's see what we have. Oh, no. We have the Circle of Death on this one. Not the best news to get started. Let's check the reverse on the first 10 coins just to make sure that we're not missing anything. However, we don't really know of any double dies on 1972 Philadelphia reverses. All right. One coin in, and we are still watching for the first double die out of here. Brad Anderson comes up next, and let's see what we have here. Yeah, these are the ones with the master die doubling on. I thought I saw the opposite of that when I was picking this roll to go today. It's not a killer, but it's not a great thing, because none of the major double dies were minted with that master. meaning that unless they are on the cusp and mixed here, it is very unlikely that we will find any of the major doubled dies like this. Hello, Mr. Fletcher. Got some rather nice coins here, though. Rather pretty nice shape, if I do say so myself. Still holding out hope here. Just opened a brand new original roll from the Chase Manhattan Bank, 1972 Philadelphia Lincoln cents. Let's poke through here and see what we've got. All that I have seen so far is master die doubling. Up to coin number 4. Now let's take a look at coin number 5. This one's for Ant. Ant. Let's see what Ant gets. Adjusting my lighting just a little bit. My last roll wasn't quite as bright as this one. And boy, does it make a difference in your lighting, how bright your roll is. These coins have pretty bright luster. Very nice looking coins as far as the eye can see. But we are unfortunately not running into any of the non-master doubled coins. There's another different die, and this one also has the master die doubling on it. You see the recut N in, and then over here you'll see doubling on the U in trust. Everything kind of has a little bit of a wonky appearance, a little bit of doubling there on the east side of the we. Then down here on the upper part of the B of Liberty and on the R of Liberty. Those are your markers for master die doubling. Now what's the problem with that here? Well, anytime you find the master die doubling in a brand new roll of 1972 Lincoln cents, you're very unlikely to find any of the major double dies. Why? Because the major double dies were not minted with the master die doubled hub. It was at a different period of time in the minting process where the master die was not doubled, and the hub was created that likely made most, if not all, of the major double dies that we know of. Let's keep going. See if can we find anything good. Tell me something good. Nothing yet. Going to be having one more reveal this evening. It's going to be a 1954D roll. That'll finish me off for 2 weeks ago, and then I'll be ready to get started on last week's rolls. We will be having another reveal show where we'll be selling rolls on Tuesday. I'm going to try to get most of the way caught up before Tuesday. And instead of an auction auction Tuesday, we'll be having that show, and then the auction will be on Wednesday. So Tuesday is going to be what we normally do on Monday, and Wednesday will be what we normally do on Tuesday. We'll be having the reveal show on Tuesday and auction on Wednesday. Auction this time around will be a rather large one, a lot of stuff. I'm digging deep to find incidentals here and there that I can toss in boxes and just sell as is for whatever the house bids on them. I'm going to have a lot of rolls, a lot of partial rolls, tubes, singles, just a lot of coins. Yes, there will be rolls this time around. There's also going to be certified coins. I've already got a list up that shows certified coins that were supposed to run last week that we could not run because YouTube was broken. YouTube was having issues. On to coin number 12 now. I found my marker for that die. It's a little die dot between the 1 and the 9 of the date. And I'll show it to you when we come up on it again. Good evening, Doug. There it is. You see that real heavy die dot between the bottom of the 1 and the 9? That's going to be my marker for this particular die, knowing that I have already seen what's on this die. Then I can very quickly go over it for struck throughs or any other oddities that we should talk about. Otherwise, we know that particular die is in here and does not represent any doubling. This is a different die right here. Let's see. Find anything of particular interest on this one. Okay, this one has that little die dot right there. It's a huge, very heavy, but very small dot just on the right side of the center of the 1. So we can use that to note that die pair. There's Tim Weber now. And a third die pair. This one has these little scratches right out here in the vest. Wow. Very nice, Ant. Nice report there. 49S double die obverse number 3. A 1950S 1mm11. A 41S 1DO 1 in AU. A 1937 1DO 1. A 1955 1mm2, a handful of minor RPMs, and 3 nice retained laminations and some really nice memorials. How is that for a report, man? I love that. Thank you so much. Shows that you can get goodies out of the coins I sell, because I do not look through them. I will have more of those available in the near future. There's one for Mark. Mark is up next here. And I don't see any of the markers that we've seen so far, but I do see markers. There is a die scratch right here coming up to the 1 and one between the 1 and the 9. So we will use those markers to note this die, which does not appear to have any doubling. Very nice, Ant. I love that. I'm glad you got some goodies out of it and got some good time searching too. Alright, another different die here. This different die has this die scratch between the 1 and the 9. It's a big angle right there, plus this big dot down below the 1. Very nice. How long does Santa Claus need to prepare for his show? You mean the, you talking about the auction that we're going to have on Wednesday? My figure is another 2 to 3 hours. I'll need to finish everything up. This one has a lot of southeast die scratches, so we're going to use that for this particular die pair. But this one could be the same one that we'd seen before that has that die dot low on the 1.9. $1976D DD01. Can't match any markers. That is not uncommon at all. That those can become difficult to match markers on. We've seen this die before. This is the one that has a scratch up from the vest to the 1, and then the one between the 1 and the 9 of the date. This is an original bank roll from the Chase Bank of Manhattan. Don't know where these were wrapped. They could have been wrapped in Manhattan, but they're not necessarily New York born. Yeah, this is a different one. Got a little double pickle right underneath the 9 there. No doubling though. Not finding anything on any of these, so it's going to be a rather quick job. There's another one of those with the die scratches and the die dot between the 1 and the 9 on the lower end. So we know we have seen there is no doubling on this particular die. Why does the 2 and 7 look like machine doubling? They look like machine doubling because they are part of the master doubling. Master doubling, I don't see it on the 7, but on the 2, it shows on the inside of the upper loop right up here. Let me get it a little bit further down over here. It shows on the inside of the upper loop of the 2. And then you can also see it pretty clearly on the "In God We Trust" lettering. It shows up pretty well on the BER of Liberty as well. And this roll is not turning out to be quite as clean as it started. Here's coin number 23. Sissy here. There you go. That's a nice clean looking coin. I spoke too soon. That one's got the mark right below the 9, but it does not appear to be. Oh, I see it. There's our marker right there. Double horizontal die scratches right on the front of the vest below the date. Coin number 24. What's an exceptionally clean looking area around the date there. Nice coin, no doubling. Number 25. This one's for Nanostacks. And so here we go. Alright, this one has that die scratch between the 1 and the 9 right there. So that one we have seen already. Nothing else there, unfortunately. Coin number 26 now. Mr. Patillo. On these, there are so many that look very similar to one another as far as markers are concerned. It's probably just easier. Yeah, predominantly 64 to 65. Yeah. Just easier to look for the doubling than it is to look for the markers. As the markers can be kind of tough to find on these. Number 28 now for Sissy. I unfortunately grabbed a roll that has a very small chance of the big double dies. This one would probably grade a spotty 63. Here's Ant 2242. That one's a 64-65 quality. Pretty decent coin. And number 31, Shinbone. To just look at these coins straight up, they're very nice, very clean looking coins. I could see that spot on this one, which means that it is not going to grade quite high enough to call it gem. Tim up next here. Nice clean 65 here. On the obverse anyway. See about the reverse. Oh, nothing really to point it so far away from a 1960 or from a MS 65. So hello, Daryl. How can you tell if your coin is a double die? Okay, tell me again, is this bicentennial half a proof or a business strike? Never got the answer to that the other day. Jim? One for Jim here. Business strike. Okay. Very, very unlikely that it's a double die. However, if you can get photographs of it, did you send Paula photographs of your double die? If you did not send the images to her, I would recommend you do, because she's pretty good at telling the difference. If you have machine doubling, it's not a double die. For a 1972 Lincoln cent, in order to have it surpass the cost of grading, it would need to be an MS67 red, which none of these so far have been. There's Ant showing you an example of machine doubling. He was offered help. I don't know if he took advantage of it or not, but he was offered help. He was given an email address that he could send images of his coin to get a rather immediate answer on whether it's a double die. Paula doesn't offer that service to just anyone, so she must have really wanted to help you. whole roll of master die doubling so far. Means none of the really good double dies are going to exist in this roll if it stays this way, which many times it does. There's number 40 now for Farm Dog. And we took our chance and ended up going bust on this one like we do on 95% of the other 1972 rolls we look through. It's just once in a great while you find a roll that has the goodies. You've been behind all day? Is that what you're saying, Lewis? Meaning you've come in late on the reveals? I started this one early, so you can give it that. I started this one about 10 minutes early. But as soon as we get finished with this one, we're going to move on to number 820. Number 820 will be 1954D. Get a good look through a 1954D roll. Darrow, that would make a huge difference on what the grade of the coin was. If it's circulated, no more than a dime. And if it's uncirculated, depends on what grade of uncirculated it is. You got that right, Jim. Had one really nice coin go out of here. That was a sweetie of a roll. It only could have been better if we'd gotten like 5 or 10 of those FS listed rarities in that roll. But unfortunately, it was a little stingy with us. Darryl, no. If I checked the weight on every coin, we would be 2 hours getting this show finished. I don't bother with the weight on coins. I only weigh them when they sound wrong. If I drop it like that, I can hear what it sounds like. And I know if it's good or not just by hearing it. You may have to go through a couple of thousand coins before you get used to that sound. But when I let a coin rest on a table, the noise it makes, I can tell you if it's right. Lincolns that weigh the wrong amount will make a weird noise. They sound more like silver dimes than they do like pennies. So the NGC game in October, I am working diligently on getting that coded and put together, because it's something. Seriously, folks, I don't remember. I mean, 273 coins. Seriously, I don't remember which ones were actually graded and which ones were not, based on the photos alone. So, I know there's a couple of different dates that I only sent in one coin, and that one coin was graded. So, certain ones I know for sure were graded. So, I have a little bit of an edge, but for the most part, I have to play the game just like you guys do. And let me tell you, there's a few curveballs in there. All right, well, that's it. You guys have seen what's in this roll all the way through. 50 coins. All right, well, time to end this particular broadcast and come back on CRH 820 coin roll hunt number 820, be a 1954D roll. So I'm going to log off here and come right back with that show here in about 5 minutes. No, nothing blew my mind into the positive. Everything was kind of off kilter. I'll be right back.